I'm Joe Bev, and this is the Joe Bev Show. This time on the Joe Bev Show, Brute Ballingham narrates The Mystery of the Itchy Thief. More Abbott and Costello travels, You Hurts, and Turkey Shoot. An Uncle Dunkle fable, Sherlock Snail finds a home, and Sherlock Holmes and the problem of Pantalone's understudy. That's coming up on the Joe Bev Show.
This is the way it happened. Nick Scarpa was a professional thief. He would steal just about anything, and he was so good at it that he'd never been caught. So it seemed like he lived a completely normal life, and he passed as a respectable businessman. Whether he stole a little or a lot, Nick had never worried too much about his victims, but that all changed on the night he was burgled. It was the last thing he was expecting, but when he woke up and saw the place turned upside down, and he couldn't find many of his possessions, he became absolutely furious and indignantly went straight to tell the police. But being such a thief himself, as soon as he entered the police station, he had an allergic reaction, and his whole body began to itch.
I'm so itchy. Oh, why am I so itchy? How angry I am. How angry. How could I, the neighborhood thief, be burgled?
Nick began suspecting everyone. Could it have been Mr. Thomas the baker? How could he have found out that Nick stole 2 cakes from him every Sunday? Or maybe it was Mrs. Emerson. Maybe she discovered he had been stealing flowers from her stall, and so she decided to get her revenge. And so the names and faces streamed through Nick's mind, until it reached a point where Nick saw a thief behind every smile and every wave. After several angry, sleepless days, Nick calmed down a little and began to forget what had happened. But this calm didn't last long at all, and the next night, while he was sleeping, he was burgled again. Red-faced with anger and itchy, he again spoke to the police.
Why am I so itchy?
And seeing his insistence on catching the thief, the police suggested he install a camera in his house to get the culprit on film. Now, this was a new kind of camera that was activated by the burglar's noises and could then follow the thief back to his hideout. Several nights passed before the burglar went back to work. But early one morning, the police inspector phoned Nicky and said, enthusiastically,
Quick, come and see the tape, Mr. Scarpa. We caught the thief.
Nick jumped out of bed and shot down to the station. As soon as he entered, Itchy, 10 policemen jumped on him.
Oh, so itchy.
You're under arrest.
Get off of me. Oh!
And cuffed him, while the rest of the station house sat around a TV screen, laughing. What they were watching was Nicky sleepwalking, burgling his own house, and hiding all his loot in the same place he had hidden all his booty for the years spent robbing his neighbors. Almost as many years as he was now about to spend in prison.
Well, Costello, we gotta go up to Hurleyville, New York for me to MC the vaudeville show.
How we gonna get there, Abbott?
We'll have to rent a car.
Let's do that, Abbott. Let's get a car.
Well, we'll have to.
But where we gonna get one?
You drive.
Me drive?
No, you drive.
I said I'd drive.
You don't drive, I drive.
Drive what?
You drive.
Why should I drive if you wanna drive?
I'm going to drive. Look, Costello, I'm renting a U-Drive and I drive it.
Oh, then we both drive it.
No, we do nothing of the kind. I drive it. When I say you drive, I don't mean you drive. I mean I drive, although it's a U-Drive.
When you say you drive, you don't mean me drive.
No.
You mean you drive, and I don't drive.
Now you got it.
Now look, Abbott, we gotta drive to Hurleyville, New York. And we're gonna rent a car.
That's right.
You are driving a car.
Yes.
Where am I sitting?
You're sitting right next to me.
Is there a steering wheel in front of me?
No.
And you are positive that I am not driving?
I'm positive.
And that you are driving the car?
Yes.
All right. What kind of car are you driving?
You drive.
Somebody better be driving.
No. Look, please, Costello. I am trying to explain this to you. We go and rent a car.
Right. Now where are we going to get it?
You drive company.
Now I drive company. I thought we were going alone!
You don't understand. It's Hertz you drive.
Well, if it hurts, you drive.
That is correct.
That's correct. This is getting worse.
Now, don't you see? The head of the company's Hertz.
But that's too bad. What hurts him?
Nothing hurts him. Look, every company has to have a head.
Of course.
Now, this company's head's Hertz.
Then why doesn't he take an aspirin?
Listen, Hertz you drive. All over the country.
Well, if it hurts to drive all over the country, why should I drive and get hurt?
You don't get hurt.
I'm not gonna get hurt. I don't want to get hurt.
You don't get hurt, Costello.
Nobody's gonna hurt me.
That's right. You're not going to get hurt.
I'm not a fool to get hurt.
You're not going to get hurt to get hurt. You're not going to get hurt. It's the Hertz Company.
Oh, the Hertz Company. Look, Abbott, I'm all mixed up.
All right, it's very simple.
Look, Abbott.
All right now.
I don't want to hurt nobody.
Will you listen to me, please? The man's name is, look. Pay attention. Look, take it easy now. The man's name is Hertz. He rents cars. You drive. It's the you drive all over the country.
You drive all over the country? Not with me, brother. Not if it's gonna hurt. Phew. Hey, Abbott, we've been walking for miles and miles out here in the country, and this gun is getting heavy.
Quiet, Costello. We're gonna have to shoot our dinner. Maybe we'll get ourselves a wild turkey.
Let's just get a tame one and irritate it.
Costello, stop pointing that gun at me. It might go off.
That's okay. I got more bullets.
Will you put that gun down before something happens?
Stop worrying, Abbott. The bullets can't come out. I got my finger over the hole.
Well, be on the lookout. There are all sorts of wildlife out here. If you see anything that looks good to eat, you shoot it.
Maybe I can shoot a pheasant.
Oh, pheasants are out of season.
Well, I'll shoot it and season it myself.
Wait a second. There's something moving in that pasture over there. Get your gun ready. I'm hungry enough to eat a horse. No, Costello!
But you said you were hungry for a horse.
That's just an old expression.
Well, this is an old horse. It's a good thing I missed him.
Costello, isn't that duck over there?
Yeah, I'll get him.
Well?
Could you go for some gopher?
Say, look across the road at that farmyard.
There must be 500 turkeys in that coop. Quick, climb over the fence and grab a turkey. Pick out a Tom. How do you like that? Out of 500 turkeys, I gotta pick out one named Tom.
Say, Donnie, did you ever talk to a snail?
Gosh, no, Uncle Dunkle. Never did.
The octopus hadn't either.
What octopus was that?
You're the one in the story I'm about to tell you.
Oh, that octopus.
See, the octopus lived in the Atlantic Ocean, right off the coast of the British Isles, and he was a very curious little octopus indeed. So he was always traveling around and looking at everything around him. Now the snail, on the other hand, lived in the Mediterranean Sea, and he was even a more curious type. He always wanted to see what a real ocean looked like. So it was only natural that eventually these two very different-looking creatures would meet. When they did, this is what happened.
I say, old chap, I am an octopus. I'm quite sure of that. But I am not sure as to exactly what you are.
My name is Sherlock, and I know you're an octopus, because you have 8 arms. I read books, you see, something that you obviously do not, or you'd know what I am.
I'll see if I can guess. You have a shell on your back, so therefore you must be a turtle.
My dear fellow, what color am I?
Well, you're a bit on the white side, the color of ivory, I'd say.
Exactly. And what colors do turtles come in?
Orange.
Correct.
And brown.
Yes.
And green.
And what color did you say I was?
Ivory.
Then through simple logic, you must see that I am not a turtle.
What might you be?
I might be a bald eagle, but in point of fact, I'm not. I, dear friend, am what is commonly referred to as a snail. Sherlock Snail, to be exact. And this shell on my back, as you call it, is my home. I curl up in there to sleep.
I sleep in a cave.
I know. I read. I've seen pictures. You look smaller in person.
I'm about average. Most of us octopi are this size. We're only big in the movies.
That I didn't know.
I thought you read.
I must have skipped that page. Well, this meeting certainly was a noteworthy experience.
Quite so. But I must be getting back to my cave before dark.
Ah, that's where I have the advantage. I can just curl up in my shell-style house on my back. Quite convenient. No fuss.
Oh, yes, quite so, quite so.
So, I shall be here on this very spot tomorrow morning.
I'll come back and visit you if you like.
I'd like it quite well. I shall see you then.
But the next morning, when the octopus returned, to his surprise, Sherlock Snail was nowhere in sight. On the very spot where he had met his new friend the night before was now a little worm.
I say, worm, have you seen what is commonly referred to as a snail around here?
I am not a worm. I wasn't a turtle yesterday, and I'm not a worm today. I told you, Mr. Octopus, I am a snail.
You're the very same snail I met yesterday.
Indeed.
But what happened to your shell-type home?
Why, it's on my back, of course.
I'm afraid you've lost your home.
You're right. My shell is gone. Oh, dear. What is a snail without his shell?
A worm.
I don't like being a worm. But worse than that, where shall I sleep tonight when it gets dark?
You may make my cave your home.
That's extremely kind of you. Oh, but I couldn't. I'd feel as though I were imposing.
Not in the least. After all, we are in the same family.
Whatever do you mean? I am a snail, even without my shell. And you are an octopus. Remember?
I've got you there, Sherlock. We are both in the mollusk family. Both snails and octopi are mollusks. We're cousins. I've been doing a bit of reading myself.
But I don't have 8 arms like you.
They are called tentacles. I read that too.
Well, since we are related, I guess it would be all right to share your cave.
So the snail and the octopus moved in together and became the very best of friends.
But did Sherlock ever find his shell?
Oh, sure. He found it the very next day. The water current had swooped it off his back, and it was hiding behind a large piece of coral. Sure, he found it. But you know what?
What?
Even after he found his shell, the snail and the octopus decided to continue to live together in the cave because they enjoyed each other's company. And that's the story of how Sherlock Snail found a home. How'd you like it, Donnie?
Gee, it was swell, Uncle Dunkle.
Good. And now tomorrow, Donnie, I'll tell you the story of how Sherlock Holmes found a snail.
Hey, Abbott, who's going to be in the show in Hurleyville?
Well, I'm DMC, and we've got Sophie Tucker.
She's a big star.
We got the all-ukulele band.
That's tremendous.
And George Burns and Gracie Allen are going to be here.
George Burns and Gracie Allen. They're my favorite comedy team.
Oh, and Harpo Marx.
We're going to do a vaudeville show in Hurleyville, New York, with Harpo Marx?
Well, he's bringing his horn. Then you and I end with the baseball routine.
Oh, we're going to do the baseball routine. There's something I want to ask you, Abbott.
What's that, Costello?
We never get to right field.
Yeah, so?
Let's say there's a deep shot to right field.
All right, I got it.
So who catches the ball?
Not from first base, he's not.
But there is a right fielder.
Of course there is.
And the person is?
Nobody.
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 Nobody catches the ball.
Correct.
So the batter is safe.
No, he's not. He's out.
But you said nobody caught the ball.
That's right.
So if nobody catches the ball, who gets the player out?
Only if he thinks he can turn a double play.
You are listening to The Joe Bev Show. I'm Joe Bev.